quote, war profiteering and threatening to seek a new revenue windfall, a windfall profits tax, unless they ramp up production to curb gasoline prices. Joining me right now is former Lazard Managing Director, Stormwall Advisors founder, and the author of Why America Matters, Michael Wilkerson, is with us. Michael, great to see you.
Great to see you as well.
Thanks very much for being here. First, give us your reaction to the president's new idea here. It's not a new idea. He's talked about this before, but he's threatening to put it to use, and that is the windfall tax, blaming the oil companies for not producing more, despite this climate change agenda putting barriers in front of these oil companies to do so.
Maria, this reminds me of the worst attributes of the Biden administration, which is this terrible combination of arrogance and ignorance. Ignorance in not really understanding how global markets work, and the arrogance to believe that a future that has American and its domestic energy production hamstrung is somehow in the right long-term strategic interests of the nation. These windfall profit taxes are going to have the effect of actually reducing U.S. domestic production, increasing our reliance on imports, and it'll be a net economic drain to the nation. So it actually is just another thing in a long list of folly around American energy policy, which, as you know, started way back with Keystone XL, proceeded to draining our strategic petroleum reserves, ongoing regulation, a regulatory burden on the energy companies that really keep them from being able to explore, develop, and especially refine our own natural resources.
Yeah, but I mean, what is that going to mean? I mean, talk to us about what is going on today with the climate change agenda. I mean, this president is acting as if there aren't all of these barriers in place. They're pretty much telling lenders, don't bank the fossil fuel companies. It's incredible bureaucracy to actually get a lease approved, and yet he's still blaming the oil companies.
Blaming the oil companies, but you're right. Between the inability to get projects approved, the inability to finance them, you mentioned that banks, long before the Biden administration, were already under pressure from the ESG movement to not finance anything that was a traditional energy source. So if you can't get a project approved, you can't raise money for it, and you're always looking at the potential risk that the rug could be pulled out from under you at any point along the way by changing regulations. It really creates an impossibly high hurdle for anybody who's interested in actually maintaining our energy security in this nation. And for what? For an agenda that says we can somehow magically make the sun shine at night or the wind to blow upon executive order. These things are not possible. They're part of a utopian dream. And I hope one day we can move to a renewable future. Today is not that day. We've got a long way to go. We need to keep our energy markets alive and well, our productive capacity running strong.
Meanwhile, his one policy has been to sell oil from the strategic reserve. I mean, look at today's diesel prices. AAA reporting diesel is up $5.31 compared to $3.63 just 1 year ago. The U.S. Energy Information Administration is reporting that the country has only 25 days of diesel supply remaining system-wide. Your thoughts on these dangerously low levels that we find ourselves in with regard to diesel, with regard to supply of oil in the strategic reserve?
So you're right, prices up over 43% nationwide. In some parts of the country, up over 60%, like in the Central Atlantic. When you look at this, the low supply combined with the low supply of the reserve, we're really setting ourselves up for a situation where we have no buffer, no ability to handle a real crisis, a real emergency. Let's hope that the winter isn't worse than we expect, and let's hope that we don't have another crisis, a real crisis in global supply. It's a very dangerous position to be in, Maria.
All right, Michael, we'll keep watching that. Thanks very much for your insights on this. Michael Wilkerson joining us.